Have you ever wondered why narcissists seem to thrive on drama, chaos, and constant attention? What happens when you take away the very thing they crave the most? Your reaction. What if I told you that your silence could be the most powerful weapon against a narcissist? And it's the one thing they absolutely cannot handle. If you've ever dealt with a narcissist, you know how exhausting it can be to navigate their manipulative tactics, their need for validation, and their relentless desire to control every situation. But what if the key to disarming them is simpler than you think? What if the answer lies not in engaging with them, but in refusing to engage at all? In this video, we're going to dive deep into the psychology of narcissism, explore why silence is so devastating to a narcissist, and reveal how you can use this knowledge to protect yourself and reclaim your power. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's unravel the mystery of why your silence is the ultimate kryptonite for a narcissist. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you find this information helpful. It's a game changer for anyone dealing with toxic personalities. Narcissists are masters of manipulation, and they thrive on the energy they extract from others. They feed off your reactions, your emotions, and your attention. Without these, they feel empty, insignificant, and powerless. This is why your silence is so effective. It starves them of the fuel they need to sustain their inflated egos. When you stop reacting, you take away their ability to control the narrative. You strip them of their power, and that's something they simply cannot tolerate. Imagine a puppet master pulling strings, only to realize the puppet has stopped responding. That's exactly what happens when you choose silence over engagement. The narcissist is left flailing, desperate to regain control, but unable to do so because you've removed yourself from their game. But why is silence so particularly devastating to a narcissist? To understand this, we need to delve into the core of narcissistic behavior. Narcissists have an insatiable need for admiration and validation. They rely on external sources to prop up their fragile self-esteem. When you stop giving them the attention they crave, it triggers a deep-seated fear of being irrelevant or unimportant. This fear is rooted in their inability to self-soothe or derive self-worth from within. Unlike emotionally healthy individuals who can validate themselves, narcissists are entirely dependent on others to feel good about themselves. Your silence sends a clear message. You are no longer willing to play the role of their emotional caretaker. This realization is terrifying for them because it threatens their very sense of identity. Let's take a closer look at how narcissists operate. They are experts at creating drama and conflict because it keeps you engaged. Whether it's through guilt-tripping, gaslighting, or playing the victim, their goal is always the same: to keep you hooked. They want you to react, to argue, to defend yourself, because every reaction you give them is a form of attention. Even negative attention is better than no attention at all. This is why they often escalate their behavior when they feel ignored. They'll try harder to provoke you, to push your buttons, to get a rise out of you. But here's the thing. When you refuse to engage, you break the cycle. You show them that their tactics no longer work. And this is where your power lies. Silence is not just the absence of words. It's a powerful form of communication. It conveys boundaries, self-respect, and emotional independence. When you choose silence, you're telling the narcissist that their behavior is unacceptable and that you won't tolerate it. This is a radical shift in the dynamic, and it's one that narcissists are ill-equipped to handle. They're used to being in control, to dictating the terms of the relationship. When you take that control away, they're left scrambling. They may try to guilt you into breaking your silence, or they may resort to more extreme measures to regain your attention. But if you stay strong and consistent, they'll eventually realize that their efforts are futile. One of the most challenging aspects of dealing with a narcissist is the emotional toll it takes. It's natural to want to defend yourself, to explain your perspective, or to try to make them understand how their behavior affects you. But here's the hard truth. Narcissists don't care about your feelings. They're not capable of empathy in the way that most people are. Their primary concern is themselves. and they'll do whatever it takes to maintain their sense of superiority. This is why engaging with them is often a losing battle. No matter how logical or reasonable your arguments are, they'll twist them to suit their agenda. They'll deny, deflect, and distort the truth to avoid taking responsibility for their actions. Your silence, on the other hand, leaves no room for manipulation. It's a clear and unambiguous statement that you're no longer willing to participate in their games. It's important to note that silence doesn't mean you're giving up or letting the narcissist win. On the contrary, it's a strategic choice to protect your mental and emotional well-being. By refusing to engage, you're taking back control of your own life. You're setting boundaries and prioritizing your own needs. This can be incredibly empowering, especially if you've been caught in a cycle of manipulation for a long time. It's a way of saying, I matter, and I won't allow anyone to treat me with disrespect. This shift in mindset is crucial for breaking free from the grip of a narcissist. Of course, implementing silence is easier said than done. Narcissists are skilled at pushing your buttons and triggering emotional responses. They know exactly what to say or do to get under your skin. This is why it's essential to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally before you decide to go silent. You need to be clear about your reasons for doing so and remind yourself of the benefits. It's also helpful to have a support system in place, friends, family, or a therapist who can help you stay strong when the going gets tough. Remember, silence is not about punishing the narcissist. It's about protecting yourself and creating a healthier dynamic. Another key aspect of using silence effectively is consistency. Narcissists are persistent, and they'll test your resolve to see if you'll break. They may try to provoke you in different ways, or they may temporarily back off only to return with renewed vigor. It's important to stay the course and not give in to their tactics. Consistency sends a powerful message. You're serious about your boundaries, and you won't be swayed by their manipulations. Over time, this can lead to a significant shift in the relationship. The narcissist may eventually realize that they can no longer control you, and they may move on to find a new source of supply. It's also worth noting that silence can take different forms depending on the situation. In some cases, it may mean literally not responding to their messages or calls. In other cases, it may mean limiting your interactions to the bare minimum and keeping your responses neutral and unemotional. The key is to avoid giving them the reaction they're looking for. This can be challenging, especially if you're dealing with a narcissist who is particularly aggressive or persistent. But with practice and determination, it's possible to master the art of silence and use it to your advantage. One of the most powerful aspects of silence is that it allows you to reclaim your sense of self. When you're constantly engaged in battles with a narcissist, it's easy to lose sight of who you are. You may find yourself questioning your own perceptions, feelings, and decisions. This is a common experience for people in relationships with narcissists, as they're often subjected to gaslighting and other forms of psychological manipulation. Silence gives you the space to reconnect with yourself and rebuild your confidence. It's a way of saying, I know who I am, and I won't let anyone else define me. As you begin to implement silence, you may notice a range of reactions from the narcissist. They may become more aggressive, more desperate, or more manipulative in their attempts to regain control. This is a sign that your silence is working. It's hitting them where it hurts the most, their ego. They may try to guilt you into breaking your silence by playing the victim, or accusing you of being cold or uncaring. They may even try to recruit others to their side, painting you as the villain in the story. It's important to stay strong and not let these tactics sway you. Remember, their goal is to get a reaction from you, and any reaction, positive or negative, will only reinforce their behavior. Over time, you may find that the narcissist's attempts to provoke you become less frequent and less intense. This is because they're starting to realize that their usual tactics aren't working. They may begin to lose interest and move on to someone else who is more willing to play their games. While this can be a relief, it's important to remain vigilant. Narcissists are known for their ability to hoover. That is, to suck you back into the relationship when they sense that you're pulling away. They may try to lure you back with promises of change, apologies, or grand gestures. But it's crucial to remember that these are just more manipulation tactics. True change is rare in narcissists, and it's unlikely that they'll ever become the person you want or need them to be. In some cases, silence may lead to the end of the relationship altogether. This can be a painful and difficult process, especially if you've been emotionally invested in the narcissist. But it's important to remember that ending a toxic relationship is ultimately an act of self-love and self-preservation. It's a way of saying, I deserve better, and I won't settle for less. While it may be hard to let go, the freedom and peace that come with removing a narcissist from your life are well worth the effort. As you navigate the challenges of dealing with a narcissist, it's important to take care of yourself. Surround yourself with supportive people who understand what you're going through and can offer encouragement and guidance. Practice self-care and engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Seek professional help if needed, as therapy can be a valuable resource for healing and growth. Remember, you're not alone in this journey, and there are people who care about you and want to see you thrive. In conclusion, your silence is a powerful tool in dealing with the narcissist. It starves them of the attention and validation they crave, and it sends a clear message that you're no longer willing to participate in their manipulative games. While it can be challenging to implement, especially in the face of their persistent tactics, the benefits of silence are well worth the effort. It allows you to reclaim your power, set boundaries, and prioritize your own well-being. So the next time a narcissist tries to provoke you, remember the power of silence. It's not just a lack of words. It's a statement of strength, self-respect, and independence. Thank you for watching, and I hope this article has given you the tools and insights you need to navigate the complexities of dealing with a narcissist. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on relationships, psychology, and personal growth. You've got this.